Ladies, gentlemen, and honored guests, would you please take your seats as we begin this evening's graduation ceremony? I kindly ask that you put your cell phones on vibrate or turn them off for the course of the program. On behalf of our county executive, the Honorable Steve Shue, and our fire chief, Alan Graves, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this special evening, the graduation of Recruit Class 56. I would now like to introduce the members of Recruit Class 56. Join me now in recognizing our distinguished guests here with us this evening. Please hold your applause until all the guests have been introduced. From the Anne Arundel County Council, District 1, Mr. Pete Smith. From District 4, Mr. Andrew Prusky. And from District 7, Mr. Jerry Walker. Also joining us tonight is Anne Arundel County State's Attorney, Mr. Wes Adams. Mr. Mark Hartzell, the Chief Administrative Officer for Anne Arundel County. Ms. Amy O'Brien from the Anne Arundel County Office of Personnel. Captain Joe Jordan, representing Chief Altamari of the Anne Arundel County Police. With us up here on stage, Chief David Stokes, Fire Chief of the City of Annapolis. Also join us, Mr. Brian Gerasi, the Maryland State Fire Marshal, and Assistant Chief Lewis Winston, representing the Howard County Fire Department. Can we give them all a round of applause, please? It's now my pleasure to introduce our Fire Chief, Chief Alan Graves.
Good evening, and welcome Recruit Class 56, your family and friends, and our distinguished guests. Before I get into my remarks, I'd like for Recruit Class 56 to stand. That's okay, you can clap. Recruit Class 56, turn and face your family and friends. So the reason I asked you to do this is you're looking out on the people that have supported you through your recruit class, and they're also the people that are going to support you as you go further in your career. So to acknowledge and to give thanks for what they've done for you so far, could I have the recruit class give their family and friends a round of applause? Recruit Class 56, take your seats. For more than 50 years, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department has been proudly serving the community. While for most of us this seems like a relatively short period of time, I'm sure for some of the recruits out there it seems like a more than a lifetime. But in reality, it is a short period of time. The department started out with just a few groupings of small fire stations, and they mostly provided fire suppression services and some basic first aid and ambulance transport. But over those 50 years, the department began to grow, not only in the number of stations, personnel, but also the services that we provide. After those basic services, we came and began providing ALS paramedic service, hazmat, dive rescue, marine, and many more services and types of calls that we were responding to. And the reason we did that that was what the community needed, and the fire department was ready to provide. The community knows that if you have a problem and do not know who to call a firefighter and they will fix your problem. And this means both on and off duty. So you're going to have people knocking at your door saying, my water heater doesn't work. I can't start my car. The cat's in the tree again. So you have to be prepared, and that's part of this profession that you're a part of. And the thing about a firefighter that I say is, there's often said that jack of all trades. The difference is a firefighter is a jack of all trades and a master of many. It's not just one thing that they're good at. Go in any fire station and you can get an answer to your questions. Occasionally it might not be the right answer, but you'll get an answer for it. So thinking about that, recently we started a program called Safe Stations to help our citizens gain access to drug addiction services. Now this really wasn't something that if you look in a mission statement of any fire department, anything really about drug addiction services is listed in their mission. However, we're certainly not any experts on addiction, but because of opening our doors, over 200 people have come to a firehouse asking for help. And that's a very special thing. So what I'm saying is that, in this case, we opened the door and people walked in. And I'm proud to say this is one of the most successful programs fighting against this epidemic. And it's being recognized throughout the country as well. So you're just beginning your career. As you progress through your career, I can only imagine the things that you're going to be doing in the future. My guess is that you're going to be more proactive than reactive. A lot of people have heard of community-based paramedicine. We're actually going to go out and start helping people prior to them calling 911 and being in serious condition. There's going to be, everybody's heard the term big data. Big data will probably be predicting where calls the next emergency will be, much like Minority Report. And a big part of your job is probably going to be fire and injury prevention, and that will be your main job. But even though I can't predict the future, what I do know is the Anne Arundel County Fire Department will continue to provide excellent community service, and that you will be an important part of that success. I thank you for choosing our department and give you congratulations on your success so far. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our county executive, Mr. Steve Shue.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. What a wonderful occasion for these graduates, your families, the fire department of Anne Arundel County, and the citizens of Anne Arundel County. It's a great evening, and I'm honored to be here. I can't overstate your devotion and dedication to this county and the inspiration that you give to each and every one of us. The greatest callings are those that enable individuals to dedicate their lives to something greater than themselves. And that's what our firefighters do every day. Whether you're on duty or not, your instinct to protect us is always there. It takes a special kind of hero to face the possibility of danger each day, never backing down in the face of peril. We see it day in and day out in this county, but it never ceases to inspire us. That heroism deserves gratitude and the support of county government. Here in Anne Arundel County, we are committed to encouraging your devotion to community and ensuring that our public safety professionals are the best trained in the state. Each of you has done the work, fought each and every day, and learned the skills that will make our county a safer place. The result of all that training is with us tonight, 47 of you. And as I look out over this crowd of brave individuals who will protect us, I'm confident that our future is secure. We're working to expand your ranks in our recruiting efforts across the board, especially reaching out to minority communities, and our budget includes other tools to ensure a first-rate firefighting corps. I'm excited for the journey that each of you is about to embark, and thank you as a father and a citizen for your service to our county. So congratulations, good luck, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, County Executive Shue. Our keynote speaker this evening is retired Anne Arundel County Fire Department Division Chief Joseph B. Ross, Jr. Chief Ross was hired by the Anne Arundel County Fire Department on April 27, 1971, and was a graduate of recruit class number 7. Approximately 29 years later, Joe retired as the Division Chief of Special Operations. During his employment, he served at many levels in operations, Fire Marshal's Office, and the Training Division. During his career, he was awarded 2 Chiefs Awards and 3 unit citations. He has chaired committees and crafted a number of OPMs. In 1999, he managed the department's self-assessment process for Anne Arundel County to become the first fire department in the state of Maryland to be accredited through the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. After retiring from the fire department in 2000, Joe, armed with a bachelor's degree in fire science and a graduate of the National Fire Academy's Executive Officer Program, went to work with the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute, where he served as a special programs instructor and training coordinator. During this time, he wrote many articles for fire rescue journals and co-developed the Institute's Firefighter Survival and Rescue Training Program, which was taught throughout the state of Maryland. In 2006, Joe went to work for the U.S. Fire Administration as a fire program specialist. He served as the very first full-time fire desk watch officer for the Department of Homeland Security's National Operations Center in Washington, D.C. Later, he worked with the Assistance to Firefighter Grants Program to assist fire departments across the country to obtain funding for apparatus and equipment. He retired from the federal service in June of 2014. Joe has published 2 books, Arundel Burning, The Maryland Oyster Fire of 1956, and the book In the Shadows of the Flames, Baltimore's 1968 April Riots. He is currently working on a novel entitled Patapsco Station, Tragedy on the Rails, about an Amtrak accident in Anne Arundel County. He currently provides presentations on fire safety for community groups and fire service history and leadership programs for area fire departments. Joe lives in nearby Linthicum with his wife Kathy. He has 4 married sons and 11 grandchildren. It's my pleasure to introduce retired Division Chief Joe Ross.
County Executive Stephen Shue, distinguished guest, Fire Chief Alan Graves and his staff, and most important, graduates of Anne Arundel County Fire Department Recruit Class 56, and just as significant, your spouses, family, and friends. Thanks to all of you for coming tonight to support our troops, or our recruits, I'm sorry. As we sit in this auditorium tonight, recognizing this competent class of firefighters, which by the way includes 9 firefighters from Annapolis City. Outside, we are protected by a world-class all-hazards emergency response organization that consists of 31 fire stations, approximately 800 career and 450 volunteer firefighters and EMS personnel. As Captain Davies mentioned in my introduction, I'm a historian who writes books about fires and the fire service. I love history, and I wholeheartedly believe that learning the lessons of history can better prepare us to deal with the present and future challenges. So it's in the spirit of history that I would like to address this question. How did we get here? How did we arrive at this juncture or point as of tonight in our history to recognize and celebrate this Class 56 after some 26 weeks of intensive training? I can answer that question of how we got here rather easily by sharing with you some of the department's high watermarks. When one thinks of high watermarks, especially with the recent hurricanes, it's an indication of the highest water level measured during a storm. But high watermarks are also used to measure success. For example, in the finance industry, high watermarks are used to measure the highest peak in value that an investment fund or account has reached. So to resolve our successes, values, and how we have progressed as an organization, I would like to highlight some high watermarks in our department's history. There have been many. In my opinion, one of the highest marks occurred recently, a little over 2 years ago, during Monday evening on April the 27th, 2015, when civil unrest and riots broke out in Baltimore and North Avenue. I was home watching the violence on television. I was saying a prayer for the city firefighters fighting a working fire at the CVS store on the corner of North and Pennsylvania Avenues. They were surrounded by rioters. One used a knife and cut their fire hose. Later in the evening, a large fire broke out in East Baltimore when a multi-story senior center under construction was torched by an arsonist. A huge fire covered my TV screen. I immediately turned on my fire department radio monitor to listen in on what was happening. Already, Anne Arundel County engines were on the road headed towards the city. I heard the transmissions to our fire alarms, such as Engine 51 en route to the city, Engine 401 transferring to the city, Engine 171 en route to the city staging area, and there were others. Some of the men and women here tonight were on those engines. As I listened, my heart started pounding. It was like I was a member of the crew again, and I felt so proud of our department that we were ready and willing to enter that quagmire of fire and violence to help out our brothers and sisters in the Baltimore City Fire Department. My eyes actually teared. I was even more elated when I heard the radio transmissions from the dedicated volunteers riding on the Queen Anne County fire engines crossing the Bay Bridge to backfill our stations that were vacated. I'm thinking what a great job our fire chief, Alan Graves, and his staff had done in planning and preparing for this night of action. What a great leap of transition our region has reached in working out our fire service, mutual aid, and operational plans, and knowing the qualifications and knowledge of our department's chief officers, as I do, it really wasn't a surprise. There was no doubt that Anne Arundel County was a major player in this effort. We sent 11 engines and 2 ladder trucks to the city that night. However, we need to keep in mind it wasn't always like that. Let me say that again. It wasn't always like that. Back in the 1950s and 60s, Anne Arundel County's fire service was considered backwoods, the minor leagues, according to some. They said we didn't have enough experience and training and skills to work in city firefighting conditions. So how did we emerge from the backwoods fire service and the minor leagues to be the very progressive and respected all hazards response organizations we are today? Let's look at some high water marks. Historically, most county fire stations started out as a result of a single devastating fire or a tragic loss of life in the community. Early volunteer fire stations were established in and around Annapolis in the 1880s. The 1920s saw volunteer fire companies formed and stations were built and equipped with engines in small communities of Early Heights, Galesville, Harold Harbor, Glen Burnie, and Linthicum. These companies still survive today. Many more would follow in the 1930s and 40s as more people populated the Odenton, Pasadena, and other areas of the county. We would have 24 fire stations by 1968. Actually, we've had county career firefighters since the 1920s. They were first called chauffeurs, which later transitioned into the role of enginemen. Each station had an engineman assigned 24 hours a day, every day. The stations trained, qualified, and hired competent individuals to do this job. The county issued their paychecks. The engineman was the closest thing to God in the county's fire stations. Before central alarm and later 911, they handled the phone calls from the frantic citizens reporting fires and medical emergencies. Enginemen radioed for help from nearby fire stations. They drove the engine and crew, pumped the engine on fires. They provided supervision on the fire ground and at the station in the absence of officers. Many of these men became role models to the younger firefighters. In addition to our enginemen, the remaining firefighters and officers were volunteers. All were dedicated and many well trained. They were the mainstay of our fire service prior to charter government. In 1964, county citizens voted for and passed charter government to replace the old county commissioner system. The new government that went into effect a year later created the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Harry Klassmeyer, who previously served as the county fire marshal, was appointed our very first fire administrator or fire chief. It was his job to create and staff an administration that included a fire marshal's office, communications division, and training divisions to provide support for the 24 volunteer fire stations. Klassmeyer appointed sharp, dedicated, knowledgeable, and experienced personnel into these positions, some from our engineman cadre and others from the volunteer fire service. On a Thursday night in 1968, there was a dreadful event. Dr. Martin Luther King, a national civil rights leader, was murdered in Memphis, Tennessee by an assassin's bullet. Within the next few days, riots broke out in over 100 cities from coast to coast, including Baltimore. On Saturday evening, April the 6th, Baltimore City Fire Department Fire Chief John J. Killen, the veteran chief of almost 10 years, had his hands full with fires breaking out all over the city. His training officer, Lieutenant Lester Helfrich, also a county volunteer at our Brooklyn station and state fire instructor, had suggested early to Killen to bring units in from Anne Arundel to help out. Killen backed off. Helfrich had taught many of the county's volunteers through the University of Maryland's Fire Service Extension Training Program, today's MIFRE, the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute. Helfrich knew well the caliber and abilities of the county firefighters. He continued to advocate for the help from Anne Arundel and finally convinced the chief to take advantage of this valuable firefighting resource. Later that night, around 9 p.m., Baltimore City Fire Department, for the first time since the Great Baltimore Fire of 1904, requested companies from Baltimore and Anne Arundel counties. We sent 7 engine companies that responded with their city brethren to fight one working fire after another for the next 3 days and nights. To quote the county's newly appointed training officer at the time, Chief Raymond Smith, he said, Anne Arundel County career and volunteer firefighters held their own while battling the April fires side by side with the career veterans of the city. The Anne Arundel County Fire Service had exemplified itself and displayed its professionalism and dedication fighting fires during the city's riots. We were out of the woods. We finally moved from the minors to the big leagues. The department reached another high water mark. After that destructive and deadly week, Anne Arundel County would be called time and time again to respond to the city on major fires. Today, our companies respond automatically into the city on first alarm, and the city sends units into the county automatically on their first alarms. Between 1968 and 1976, 11 classes graduated from our training academy. The period saw over 275 firefighters sent out to staff the engines and ladder trucks in the stations. And for the very first time, paramedics or cardiac rescue technicians were trained and placed on ambulances and chase cars to provide a higher level of medical service to the county's citizens. On January the 3rd, 1979, our firefighters responded to one of the most challenging incidents in the history of the fire department. The Green Tree Apartments in South Glen Burnie were burning. Not one, not two, not three. No, there were at least 36 fires of various sizes burning simultaneously throughout the complex when a valve malfunctioned and the propane gas system overpressurized. Small stove and pilot lights became 6-inch torches. Kitchen stovetop flames heating food turned into bonfires, igniting overhanging wooden cabinets. Because of the outside freezing temperatures, many furnaces were running that erupted into full-scale fires in the utility rooms. Due to the bold efforts of our firefighters, most fires were contained to the furnace rooms and kitchens. However, there were at least 3 major fires that typically would be fought by multiple companies and multiple alarms. However, on this day, they were only worked by a few. Many recruits from Class 15 were on these fires, since their class didn't graduate until the middle of December that year. For many of the recruits, Green Tree was their very first fire, and many would later remark as to how the veterans and officers kept them safe under their wings, stayed close to them, and guided them through the fight. Because of the amount of work that needed to be done to bring these fires under control, a few recruits experienced more than their fair share of action. Some would later remark that they learned more about firefighting on that day than the entire 20 weeks of fire school. Many civilians were rescued by firefighters, and any and all injuries were minor. Another high water mark achieved. After the fires were out, one recruit approached his officer. He asked, "Wow, will we be fighting fires like this every day?" The officer responded, "I hope not. I hope not." But by the late 1980s, 6 new fire stations were added to the original 24, such as South Glen Burnie, Jones Station, Harmons, Dorsey, to name a few. They became fully career staff stations. Fire alarm now dispatch calls through a CAD or computer-aided dispatch system. Upgrades to our radios to the 800 megahertz system were made so transmissions could cover greater distances, and we now had multiple channels to communicate on. In 1982, Anne Arundel County was the first department in the Baltimore region to implement ICS, or the Incident Command System, a system to better manage firefighters by maintaining crew integrity, accountability, and enforcing safe practices. Most of you probably know that we perform more than just firefighting, rescue, and EMS. So by the 1990s, the department provided additional training, outfitted and employed hazmat or hazardous materials, collapse and dive teams, along with a marine division to protect our hundreds of miles of shoreline through the county. We were now an all hazards response organization. In the late 1990s, Fire Administrator Stephen Halford required all firefighters to achieve national certification, a high standard of training, knowledge, and proficiency for firefighters and officers. We were the first fire department in the state to achieve accreditation through the Commission on Fire Service Accreditation, kind of like the Good Housekeeping stamp of excellence for fire departments. We met many high standards of preparedness and developed master planning to address our shortcomings. Many new fire stations and EMS advanced life support coverage were a result of this achievement. So, okay, I could go on for hours and talk about the successes of our department, but my time has run out. We must also remember, though, it wasn't always high water marks. There were times or periods of low marks. Sometimes due to the economic or political climate at the time, we could barely keep our heads above the water, high or low. But we always persevered as an organization. We always surfaced from the bad times and continued to meet our goals and objectives in providing a high level of service to the citizens of Anne Arundel County. So, you'll see it better if I move my glass. So, recruit class 56. Now you know how we got here today. And now it's your turn to achieve high water marks. It's your turn to continue our wonderful heritage that was built by many before you. We challenge you, class 56, to continue that heritage and move the department to the highest watermarks. We challenge you to serve our citizens with dignity, commitment, and passion. Always maintain your knowledge and skills to the professional level taught to you by some of the best fire, rescue, and EMT instructors in the business that, by the way, are also present here tonight. Thank you, instructor. Class 56, keep your mind prepared for all eventualities. Exercise that mind when those events present themselves. Do all the things, and you will have an awesome and rewarding career. Believe me when I say this, I have found through my many years of personal and professional experience that when you strive for greatness, you will at worst most likely succeed in your efforts and endeavors. So be great, recruit class 56. Succeed, recruit class 56. Congratulations and Godspeed, recruit class 56. Make us proud.
Would you please welcome to the podium the class leader for Recruit Class 56, Recruit Roy Dobson.
Good evening, County Executive Steve Shue, Chief Graves, Chief Stokes, Chief Mayors, friends and family, and all of the guests. Thank you for being here on this special occasion and one of the most important days of our lives. On February 24th, 2017, 54 individuals walked through the gate of the Anne Arundel County Department Training Academy. We walked through the gate with fear, doubt, uncertainties, stress, and excitement, not knowing what was on the road ahead of us. For those of you that don't know, the Academy is a place of history, legacy, and memories forged by those fortunate enough to live a dream. As we went through the first couple of weeks, we learned the importance of attention to detail, knowing where the gate was and that it was always open. And if you were a previous recruit firefighter, you will understand when I say that finding a brick on the wall and staring at it is important as well. As the weeks continued, we learned how to fight fire, provide emergency medical services, and most importantly, how to stay healthy and be safe. To the recruit training officers and staff, thank you for helping us start a pathway to success for our careers. Thank you for being our mentors, role models, and now that we have made it through recruit school, thank you for being our brothers and sisters. Most importantly, thank you for training us to be safe. Without you, we have not become the family that we are today. You taught and demanded a level of quality to my fellow recruits who learned and performed to that level of quality. You gave us physical and mental challenges when we reached our breaking point, knowing that we would overcome those challenges because you knew how strong we were as a team. As none of us walked out of that open gate because of defeat, it was simply because it was time to go home. By the end of the day, we were exhausted, and one of the RTOs would tell us that when we were exhausted, that meant we worked our hardest, and that was a good day at work. As we go out into the field, I promise we will not let you down. To my fellow recruits, we went from being a group of individuals, a family, to a family of brothers and sisters, and we should be proud of that huge accomplishment. We have overcome the challenges the RTOs gave us and also overcome the challenges we gave ourselves. By getting to know one another, agreeing on what to wear in PT in the morning, and trying to figure out which platoon was better. But we all know what platoon that is. We have made it through recruit school together and have built a friendship and a bond that no one outside of our class will understand. As we go out into the field, make sure we're there for one another in a time of need. Make sure you continue your training and continue your education, because the citizens of Anne Arundel County deserve to be protected by the best firefighters in the world. Recruit Class 56, congratulations, be safe, and enjoy the best career in the world. Thank you. I'd like to invite Chief Mayors and Captain Gunderson to the stage for the presentation of the class gift. On behalf of Class 56, we would like to present the class gift of a plaque and a bench built by Class 56 to remain at the Academy for years to come.
Now it's time for the issuing of the diplomas. Individuals wishing to take photos may come down to the front center stage area, but we ask that you do not take the seats of the recruits. Firefighter Nathan M. Baker. Firefighter Christopher M. Barnett. Firefighter Brad S. Bayless. Firefighter David W. Beverly. Firefighter Beverly will be pinned by his stepfather, retired Anne Arundel County firefighter Gilbert Wagner. Firefighter Nicholas C. Biddle. Firefighter Biddle is accompanied by his father, Lieutenant Dan Biddle, from the Syracuse Fire Department. Firefighter Todd E. Blackstone. Firefighter Blackstone will be pinned by his brother, Anne Arundel firefighter Travis Blackstone. Firefighter Keanu M. Blake. Firefighter Bradley P. Boucher. Firefighter Boucher will be pinned by his cousin, Annapolis Fire Department Battalion Chief Greg Young. Firefighter Vincent R. Bruno. Firefighter John J. Burke, Jr. Firefighter Michael J. Cardy. Firefighter Cardy is accompanied by his cousin, Captain Dave Brown of the Bayonne, New Jersey Fire Department. Firefighter Marissa L. Carmelo. Firefighter Kyle J. Camaggio. Firefighter David S. Colvin. Firefighter Christopher J. Crandall. Firefighter Roy L. Dobson III. Firefighter Michael R. Draheim. Firefighter Draheim will be pinned by his father-in-law, retired Anne Arundel County Fire Department Division Chief Alan Williams. Firefighter Keith W. English. Firefighter English will be pinned by his friend, Anne Arundel County Fire Lieutenant Cecil Bradley. Firefighter Kevin N. Graniff. Firefighter Tyler J. Hardy. Firefighter Allison M. Hayes. Firefighter Caitlin A. Hook. Firefighter Anthony L. Robar, Jr. Firefighter Robar will be pinned by his father, Anne Arundel County Fire Department Lieutenant Tony Robar. Firefighter Jeremy D. Hurley. Firefighter Tybeen E. Kondaker. Firefighter Zachary B. Clunk. Firefighter Clunk is accompanied by his father, retired Baltimore City firefighter Art Clunk. Firefighter Ryan C. Culp. Firefighter Sean F. Moore. Firefighter Joseph T. Morris. Firefighter Anna R. Morrow. Firefighter Thomas R. Phillips. Firefighter Lamar G. Porter Moore. Firefighter Wayne J. Pratt. Firefighter Adam K. Rosevier. Firefighter Austin D. Chappelle. Firefighter Jack A. Shiner. Firefighter Garrett J. Scholes. Firefighter Scholes will be pinned by his father, retired Anne Arundel County Fire Department Deputy Chief John Scholes. Firefighter Kirby J. Scholes. Firefighter Adam J. Scowden. Firefighter Scowden will be pinned by his brother, Anne Arundel firefighter Walt Scowden. Firefighter Robert W. Sloan. Firefighter Sloan is accompanied by his uncle, Firefighter Joe Sloan of the Fairfax County Fire Department. Firefighter Owen M. Stalter. Firefighter Kyle J. Walker. Firefighter William P. Wozczak. Firefighter Tyler A. Welch. Firefighter Brandy L. Wilson. Firefighter Wilson is accompanied by her husband, Howard County Fire Lieutenant James Wilson. Firefighter Brian J. Wright. Firefighter Wright is accompanied by his cousin, the District of Columbia Fire Department Firefighter Ty Glover. Firefighter Jonathan D. Zolman. Let's have one round of applause for all of our new recruits. At this time, we would like to recognize 3 recruits. The first is through the Chief's Academic Achievement Award. This award is presented to the recruit with the highest final grade point average. Throughout recruit school, each recruit is subjected to written and practical examinations for each course they take. Recruit Class 56 completed these examinations for 8 different fire training courses, as well as emergency medical technician. The academics at our academy are very challenging, and simply achieving a passing score can be difficult, requiring many hours of study. I am pleased to report that Recruit Class 56 had a combined GPA of 82%. However, only one recruit can achieve the highest grade point average. for achieving a GPA of 91%, the Chiefs Award for Academic Achievement for Recruit Class 56 is presented to Recruit William Wozczek. The next award is the Outstanding Performance Award. The individual receiving this award is selected by the recruit training officers. From the first day of recruit school, the RTOs have the opportunity to monitor each recruit's performance and development. The recruit chosen for this award has displayed outstanding abilities or skills, demonstrated an above-average work ethic, and has shown the determination and effort to succeed. The Outstanding Performance Award for Class 56 is awarded to recruit Anna Morrow. The final award is the Instructor's Award. The individual receiving this award has shown the highest level of personal improvement, development, and dedication during recruit school. This individual has contributed significantly to the success of the class overall, either by helping others or through self-improvement. The individual earning this award can be one with no previous experience in emergency medical services field and progresses to an outstanding level of proficiency, or an experienced person who dedicates him or herself to assisting other class members throughout the academy. The Instructor's Award for Class 56 is presented to recruit Caitlin Hook. I now ask Douglas Arnold, Assistant Chief Deputy at Clerk of the Circuit Court for Anne Arundel County, to please come forward and issue the oath of office to recruit Class 56.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. After I say the word I, please state your name. I do swear that I will obey the Constitution and laws of the United States, the state of Maryland, and Anne Arundel County. I will do the best of my ability to faithfully and without prejudice execute the office of firefighter in Anne Arundel County. Congratulations.
Honored guests, family, and friends, it is my pleasure to present to you the firefighters of Recruit Class 56.